everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of DIY Saturdays. Today we're going to be doing something really cool. We're going to be making our very own midi rings. This is a trend that I've kind of hopped on and loved for the last year, so I thought it'd be really cool to show you guys how to make your own at home. So if you're interested in finding out how to do so, just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is a pair of needle nose pliers. If you don't own a pair, honestly go to the dollar store. I got these for $1, super cheap. Then I also picked up just a pair of normal pliers. Yeah, I don't know if these have a more regular name. I'm not a toolologist, but yeah, some thicker pliers, I guess that's what I used. And then I also picked up some 20 gauge wire. I got this from just a craft store. You can get it anywhere. It comes in a whole bunch of different gauges, but I thought 20 gauge would look kind of nice because it wasn't too thick, but it also wasn't too thin. Last but not least, you're going to need something to cut your wire with, so I'm using these wire cutter scissors. So to get started, you're going to want to find something that's about the thickness of the finger that you want the ring to fit on. So you'll notice throughout this video that I'm using things like mascara, things like concealer, stuff like that get thicker and thinner just so that I know that it'll fit my finger correctly. So just kind of judge stuff like that and you'll find something that works for you. So what I'm just doing here is taking the wire and twisting it around the mascara just so that I get that ring-shaped circle. Then you can go ahead and cut your wire. I left a little bit on each side just so that I have enough room to bend the wire around. You'll see what I'm doing now. That's where we're going to connect the ring so that it stays in place. Once you have both of your hooks, go ahead and hook them together. You can flatten these out by taking those same pliers and just kind of pressing on them so that when you do wear the ring, they don't kind of like pinch into your finger. So this is kind of the basis to how we're going to make most of our rings today. To make the midi rings, obviously what you have to do is make them smaller. So you can see in this shot I'm using more of a concealer sized wand just so that the ring ends up being a lot smaller than the first one. This will ensure that we can wear it higher up on our finger. Now what I've gone ahead and done is made duplicates of both of these rings so that when you wear them all together you kind of have like a ring collection of midi rings and regular rings. So go ahead and make as many as you want and you can layer them up and they look really cool together. This next ring I'm going to show you how to make is essentially very easy. The first thing you do is just start off with all of your original steps from the first ring. I'm once again using another shaped container just because I'm going to have this sit on my middle finger and I want it to be a midi ring at the top, so I found that this one was a really good size to get that in place. Repeat all the same steps, make it into a regular ring, but this time I know it's a little hard to tell, but I'm basically bending the middle of the ring in. I want this to kind of have this triangle arrow shape when I wear it on my finger, so just use your fingers and keep bending it in as much as you want and it'll bring that shape right into the ring. These types of mini rings look extremely good when you stack them, so go ahead and make a couple and throw them on your finger. Alrighty, moving on. Because this tutorial can get a little bit repetitive because we're continuously making rings, I'm going to skip the first couple steps. You guys know how to make the regular circle ring. All of the rest of the rings start from making that regular circular shape first. I'm so in love with this one. I think it's so cute, looks so good on your finger. And there's no real way for me to explain this to you guys, so just watch carefully. I'm just bending the wire, making the shape of the heart. It's very easy. I suggest using the smaller needle nose pliers for rings like this, just so that you can get all of those little tiny sharp corners. But yeah. For this next one, go ahead and make a big ring and a small ring, because you'll want one at the bottom of your finger and you're going to want one at the top of your finger. Then I would go ahead and put them on. You're going to want to take some chain and measure the distance from the bottom of your finger to the top of your finger. I highly suggest bending your finger so that when you do have the chain on, you're still able to move it a little bit and then measure the chain that way. Once you've done that, go ahead and cut the chain. Attach the chain to both ends of your ring and then close it on up. Okay, and so this last one is the very popular infinity ring. I had to show this to you guys because if you haven't made it before, what are you doing? It's so easy. Just start by bending the wire around. You're going to make your infinity symbol first. Super easy. Bend the first side, then flip it around and bend the other side. Once you've done this, go ahead and cut off any of the excess wire and then you should have something that looks a lot like this. Next up, we're going to push a little piece of the wire through and then we're going to take our needle nose pliers and we're going to bend the wire around it so that it hooks onto it. Then you're going to take the other end and hook that on as well. Super simple, like I told you. Go ahead and throw it on your finger and you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do end up making any of these midi rings, make sure that you use the hashtag Tasha Leelyn so that I can repost your lovely creations. If you have any requests for next Saturday's DIY, also make sure to leave that in the comments down below. And other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!